All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Mushoku Tensei, Season 2, Episode 16. All right.
Ruijerd's here.
Ruijerd's here.
And brought the girls.
And brought Norn and Aisha. Awesome. I'm curious if Lilia's just here as well. She's, in a different section or what have you, or if she's just, and back with Paul and stuff. I'm curious to see where that ends up going with things. But yeah, Paul's on his way to go and rescue Zenith. He's got a squad with him. He's got Roxy with him.
That's going to go great.
I want it to go great, yes.
It's going to be a flawless victory.
We'll have to hold off on that for now. We'll see. The OP promises fun action, which I just kind of love the idea of our protagonist maybe just not being there at all.
All this crazy, exciting stuff is happening. Meanwhile, Rudy's like...
So are Sylvia and I gonna try to have kids tonight, or
or
next week, or
just drinking like some hot tea while he looks at like a snow-covered yard. It's just like, it's a good life.
Two gremlins absolutely fighting over a snow, person or something
exactly.
Like that.
Yep.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. Having also just an opportunity for another family member to join into the school setting, start learning magic. Also sounds fun.
Yes.
That'd be a great opportunity for Rudius and Norn to bond as well.
Right, because she doesn't like him very much.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll have to get into that as well. So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Yeah.
パウロの手紙に書いてあった護衛はルイジェルドだったか。2年ほど南部の密林地帯にいた。
cool.
イーストポートに向かい、そこでお前の父親と出会った。お前の師匠にも会った。
Hey!
ああ、額の目を見せた途端、露骨に怖がられてしまった。
Roxy was looking kind of frightfully at the person off screen that happened to be Ruijerd. That was another hint we missed last episode. Yeah.
Nice.
だが久しぶりにこき使われた感じがしたな。前はどんな話をしていたっけか。ところで、エリスはどうした？
Yeah. I was waiting for that. Yeah.
ルイジェルドさんはどれぐらいこちらに？
明日には立つ。
Yep.
随分と急ですね。
No.
お前の邪魔をするつもりもない。
Wouldn't be an intrusion at all.
Classic. But I've got a life, man.
Yep.
そんな顔をするな。また戻ってくる。
Yeah.
それにエリスは決して言葉のうまい方ではなかった。もし会う機会があったら落ち着いて話をしてみろ。
Whoa.
Damn.
Love it.
Okay.
お願いします。
All right.
Good stuff.
Nice talk and tea by the fire with the boys.
What's that?
Oh. The music.
バーディー陛下と何かあったんですか？
昔な。
Oh.
二人ともラブラス戦役時代から生きているし、当
Sure.
時はいろいろと因縁もあったのだろう。では、俺はそろそろ行く。
ルイジェルドさん、朝食食べていってください。
Yeah.
Ah.
I'm glad he gets to share a meal with the mayor.
ルイジェルドさん、お世話になりました。
Ah.
あまりルーデウスに無茶を言うんじゃないぞ。
分かってます。
Yeah, because they went on their own journey with him. Yeah.
会える。
私も一緒に。
Oh. Sorry, can't do that.
これからは俺ではなく、ルーデウスを頼れ。
でも、あいつはお父さんを。
Yeah.
それに、前に見た時と隣にいる女の人が違うし。
そっちのもう一度名前を教えてくれ。
はい、シルフィエットです。
シルフィエット。
Yeah.
And yet we basically, it's like, here's something that, you want.
8 minutes into the episode. Yep.
Here's something you want. And you only get it for a little bit, and then that's it.
Yep.
まずは長旅、お疲れ様でした。
He looks so much like
お
Paul.
兄様もご健勝なようで。でもシルフィー姉と結婚してるなんてびっくりだよ。ねえ、ムルン姉もそう思うよね。
Ah.
Oh.
Qu'est-ce que c'est? What the fuck? My loot over the last little bit, maybe, you know? Like,
いつは以前届いたのと同じだな。
okay, to make sure it
Sure.
got there.
二人を学校に通わせなさいって。
Nice.
私も学校で習ってないよ。あの時のだっていつも思ってるんだよ。
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, remember? Yeah.
せめて魔法大学の試験を受けてみてくれ。その結果で判断しよう。
Huh?
試験落ちるかもしれないし。
それは心配しないでいい。
I can help you study for
学
it.
校はお金があれば誰でも入学できるから。
そこまでして学校行きたくない。お兄ちゃんになんて口聞いてんのさ。だって聞いたでしょ。お金でなんとかしようなんて。ノルン姉が勉強できないのが悪いんでしょ。はあ。聞き分けのないことって言うわよね。
Oh my god.
お兄ちゃんもそう思うよね。
Wow.
アイシャ、
何？
ノルンに対して
Yeah. Yeah.
お前から見ればそうかもしれないけど、ノルンはノルン。
Right.
Remember, her mom is, you know, in danger somewhere.
Yep.
Her dad sent her away.
Yep. That's a
Yep.
whole lot.
アイシャを学校に通わせ、可能性を示してやるのが仕事なので。
Sorry, we let her drop out of school to clean our house.
問題はノルンちゃんの方かな。パウロさんやルイジェルドさんと離れて不安そうにしてるみたいだし。
Yeah.
女の子のことはよくわからないので、またシルフィーに頼ることになりそうです。
Sure.
困った時は助け合わないとね。
Ah.
さか満点。
Wow.
それなら学校に通わなくてもいいよね。結果で考えるってお兄ちゃん言ったもんね。
ノルンの方はというと今一つの成績だった。もっとも年齢的平均をやや下回るぐらいで。
何かやりたいことを探すのはどうだろう。例えば。
私寮で暮らしてみたい。
Oh.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, technically, if you
Yeah.
get into the...
ダメだと突っぱねるのは簡単だ。
But,
ノルン
yeah.
が勇気を出して言ってくれたことだし、仲の悪いアイシャや嫌いな俺と毎日
She wants
Yeah.
her own space, yep.
Right.
わかった。じゃあノルンは寮で暮らすといい。
ノルン姉は点数良くなかったじゃん。なんでわがまま聞くの？
別にわがままを
Yeah.
聞くわけじゃないんだ。
You did get what you want.
Right.
I'm not making you go to school.
でもその方が。
私が半分お兄ちゃんと血がつながっていないからノルンをひいきするんですか？
All right.
俺はリーリャ。
This is where it's separate conversations for both of them.
寮には寮のルールがあるので従うこと。
Yeah.
勉強を頑張ること。友達を大切にすること。それと学校で困ったことがあったら俺かもしくはシルフィーに言いなさい。
はい。
あと起きた時と寝る前にきちんと歯を磨くように、風邪をひかないように。最後に最低でも10日に一度。
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
心配だから。
わかりました。
And don't you want a home-cooked meal?
Yeah.
Lure them over with a home-cooked meal.
She will very soon.
Yep.
ノルンが魔法大学に入ってから1ヶ月。
All right, yeah, we're moving through time. Let's go.
一人も作っていないようで心配だ。
最近ボスが元気ないね。
Hmm.
何ですかこれ。
おっと。
I hear a sound.
家に帰ってからね。誰にも見つからないところでこっそり
Oh.
開けるの。
Okay.
そう言われると不安ですが。
What's that sound, though? Sounds like something breathing.
何をやっているんだ？
あ、いえ、このカバンを開けずに中身を当てようかと。
ちょっと生徒会室まで来てくれないか。
Did Norn get into trouble?
お疲れ様です。何か問題が起こりましたか？
実はここ最近女子寮の新入生の顔色が優れないのです。本日そのうちの一人に詳しく聞いてみたところ、リニアとプルセナ
Yep. Oh, no. Yep.
その場で下着を脱ぐように強要されたということです。
Fuck.
さらに情報を収集してみると、あの二人はこれでボスが喜ぶなどと話していたそうです。
Bro.
ルーデウス様、 失礼ですが、
このカバンはリニアとプルセナより今朝が
I have not opened it.
あなたが命じてやらせていたことですか？
No, they were not.
ルーデン様は無関係であると。わかりました。信じましょう。
Hand over the bag, please.
よかったよ。シルフィーとあれだけ激しい夜を過ごしているというのに、他の女になど。
Ah, they talk.
王女様に話しているんですか？
Ah, yeah. No,
Definitely
no.
not.
あの二人には僕の方から注意しておきましょう。これはアリエル王女の手で被害者の元に返しておいてください。申し訳ありません。リニアとプルセナのせいで。
群れのボスも大変ですね。
What? Why are they not getting punished?
Yeah,
はい、ノルンさん、どうしました？
第三実習室かどこかわからない。
Oh.
そうですか。ルーク、
Yeah, escorter Luke. Yes.
まったくお前たちのせいで濡れ衣を着せられるところだった。
ごめんにゃ。悪気はなかったの。勘弁してほしいの。生意気な一年だにゃ。
俺の知らないところでちょっかいかけるなよ。
もちろんにゃ。悪いよ。
in fact, don't try anything with anybody.
Rudius stole one panty. Almost was killed outside the girls' dormitory.
Right.
2 girls. Assault countless girls.
Yeah, yeah.
Get told, talk to them.
Right.
Must be hard leading a pack.
Like, what
Stupid.
the fuck?
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We
A
had
blip
some
on the...
we had some wonderful sweet stuff that I absolutely loved. And
And then a moment of cringe.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Norn
Okay.
and Aisha are here.
Yep.
They are both very different. They both have their own specific problems, though. It's not just
Right.
Norn with the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aisha has that little bit of an identity kind of problem because she's excessively excited to do what she can to make Rudius happy that she's there.
Right.
Which is tied to not just the fact that she very much cares about Rudius, but also very much wants him to show favor, if you will, to her.
Because a lot of other people haven't, right?
Right,
And so
and
it's the,
that's-
okay, you know,
I get to start from scratch with somebody.
I get to start from scratch, but also because it's something that I've kind of been starved of, I'm going to work extra hard in order to get it. You know, I'm going to ace the entrance exam. I'm going to do all of these things, right?
Makes so much sense. It's very, very endearing, but it's also very good characterization because then it informs even more why she gets on Norn's case so much. Because suddenly she's like, wait, Norn, you're a threat to this kind of dynamic here.
Yep.
And then bite. And it's that, you know, kind of pecking the smaller chicken, if you will,
Right.
kind of situation. But the thing is that Norn has her own reasons for disliking Rudius. And while some of them are, you know, not as big of a deal as others, the fact remains that, no, you do have to build a relationship with her, Rudius. So that's exciting. That's a good bit of struggle that we'll see overcome over the course of the season.
And maybe like it's fun because I feel like this is another example of where we get to see the ways in which Rudius's past life and just extra experience ends up helping him and making him kind of stand out in ways. Because for the most part, a lot of those we haven't seen too much since he was like a young child, because that's where it was that's where it was the most obvious contrast. But here, you know, he doesn't have any, you know, like parenting experience effectively. And yet, hey, he already knows to be like, okay, try and listen to what the kids are telling him, because they are telling him in their own ways what it is that they need.
Yep, exactly.
Right? And acknowledging that and accepting that, and not just getting your own idea of what they need. That's very important. And, you know, with his background, it totally makes sense that would be something that he would have, because he didn't, you know, he fell through the cracks of society, right? And so, you know.
So he gets a little bit, we should probably just send them to school, though, to up their chances with things.
Right,
and
but
then
also
he's like, maybe, no, actually, you don't need to send Aisha to school.
And you know, we get to see that in in little things, maybe like, him being like, well, hey, at least come back here, once every 10 days,
Sure.
right? Because I worry about you. Yep, totally. Like we don't have to have any explanation in Rudy's mind of why he would worry about her or anything like that.
Yep.
Because it could be for a myriad of reasons, but yes, one of them is probably because, oh yeah, I remember when things didn't go well at school and I just, closed myself off and shut myself up in a room. Mm-hmm. I want to make sure that doesn't happen with her.
I didn't reach out. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And something that, might seem completely like, innocuous or pointless or maybe even a pain for Norn, just that bit of regular disruption of the status quo will probably, we'll make it so that is less of a
God,
problem.
Like this is such a good episode for just the idea that Rudius is having to actually practice being a parent.
Yeah.
The idea that a kid asked him, hey, can I not live here? I think some parents, if this was their kid, they might, out of not just the fear angle, but also the pain angle of not getting to see their kid as often, would go, no, you're going to stay here. But because in a lot of ways this isn't Rudius's kid, this is much easier for him to go, let's look at this actually as objectively as possible. From this standpoint, what do we miss out on, really, by giving her some space here? It's a decent amount of space, by the way. Well, kind of playing with the wiggle room in Paul's instructions,
Yeah.
But, hey, he trusts me to run things, so this is part of that. There's the idea that, well, I won't be able to see her as often, so I won't be able to protect her. Okay, that's an issue. But also, she's actively engaging on this angle of the school bit. So I want to reward that confidence in the ways that I can. So I will give you your yes, and then there's some conditions attached to it.
Exactly.
I really like that because it's a parental kind of decision, but it's also a very like free decision. Letting her know that, yeah, I've got your back. If you have requests and you have things you want me to do for you, I'll do what I can. Like, I will work with you to make this, a happy time.
And the school has the infrastructure set up for kids living there, right?
Yeah.
So,
The majority of the kids are living in there.
Right, exactly. You won't need to worry about like, oh, is she going to get fed or whatever, right? Because, probably have cafeteria, whatever, all
they
that.
do,
Yeah, all that kind of stuff, right?
It's probably not going to taste as good
Exactly.
as, being at home and everything, but who knows?
But there you go. And Aisha, just got to say, as far as requests go, I think yours is the more extreme of the two requests.
Right.
Like, I'm 8 years old or whatever. I want to drop out of school.
I think they're in double digits. I think based on their...
You're like 12.
I think they're
10,
closer
12.
to like 11 or 12. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But it's I
based on the
already
way
know
that they
everything
talk,
I need.
they're not 8 years old.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. Right. And also going from Rudy's age because he was like 5, I want to say.
Well, yeah,
when all
he's
this
like
stuff happened
16,
with Paul.
17, 18 right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to go back and check all the exact times because you can actually track it. That's one of my favorite things about this show. Is you can actually track the time, but because we've snuck in a bunch of months, time skips
right.
in the last little bit, it's hard to
because time just flies, and hey, if that caused issues, maybe with things that are happening with other characters in different locations, well, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But that was great.
I
really liked how that was sort of set up for like just I feel like I have an understanding of these characters, the things that they themselves struggle with, and also their current state, so that way we can have them like not necessarily take up the lion's share of the time in the arc moving forward.
Right.
They totally could, but they don't have to. We can kind of have them be wherever doing their thing.
Well, they'll be kind of in their own mini arcs, I would say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then we can touch base with them as the show wants to, as it needs to, whatever. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah. The status quo has not changed too dramatically by having them fall into specific roles very quickly.
Yep.
Speaking of status quo changing, though, the idea that Ruijerd new body is fun, but also the idea that they almost came to blows or something.
Right.
When Ruijerd was like either on his way out or potentially like thought the house was under attack and went to the threshold of the estate and was like, they'd had a staring contest.
And I love that we don't know what was said.
Right, because that's Ruijerd's business.
Yep.
but also the fact that Buddy also was like, oh, okay, like, clearly there's no reason for this to go and escalate from here because he sees that Ruijerd's, cool with this. So it's like, okay, gotcha.
Awesome.
Gotcha. So that was kind of
that was fun.
That was kind of fun.
Yeah, and no, Rudy, I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Like this isn't goodbye with
forever.
a capital G, right? And this is just bye.
Yeah, and Ruijerd didn't just shift things up a little bit by, potentially almost starting a fight there, but also said, hey, I challenge your perspective on Eris.
Yeah.
I have so much respect for him for this. There is something about when you've had a thought or feeling about something a long time a certain way, you didn't go back and check on it. You don't go back and reevaluate. You don't let the passage of time allow you to dissect things a little bit further because you're less close to it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that we end up being blind to effectively because we're too close to them.
Yep.
So, is Ruijerd pointing at any specific interpretation of Eris's words? No. If anything, he's just saying, hey, time's a funny thing.
Yeah.
Also, people and words are funny things.
Right.
Ruijerd in his own kind of simple way was like, maybe the next time you see her, try and stay calm and talk things out.
Right. It's nothing extreme that he's saying, and he's not even saying it with any additional inherent perspective as far as time spent with Eris because he left before she did.
Yep.
Which I really like. It's not something of like, oh, I traveled with her after, like we met up later or anything like that, right? No.
Right.
It's just from what I know of her. See if you can talk it out.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Which also is just setting up another, like character interaction, right? Paths crossing and stuff would be very interesting.
Oh,
because,
very, very interesting.
Yeah.
So that's also just
fun. That'll be really fun when/if that happens.
And then Sylphia just being a really good support to this whole situation by being like, hey, like, let's not hyper fixate or overthink this. If she's wanting to do this, hey, you said yes to this thing here.
Yep.
Let's say yes to her.
Right.
In that respect, I think that was probably the most wise thing Reese has done in the last little bit, is that he's kind of been able to get around by having a lot of the decisions, like the grander decisions that he's made, be and not really requiring any additional logical alternative. Like the idea that it's a pretty straightforward decision as far as things go. Like, he's had a couple interesting ones with regards to the how, like the process itself, but it's still the same decision. Whereas this one, it's like, oh, wait, I have A or B. Like, these are very clear different things that could have grand repercussions on someone's life.
Yep. So, for the both of them right out the gate. Because, because kids aren't easy to deal with.
Nope.
Right? And so, okay, good luck. And I love everything about how that went. That was awesome.
And then unfortunately we had the part in this episode that reminds me that I really don't like these two characters much at all to begin with. They're kind of forgettable. They basically are the equivalent of the thing I talked about in the last episode that Mushoku Tensei doesn't have, which is the, hey, we're going to checklist some boxes here.
Right.
Of, we're going to have, animal girls that are in love with the MC, but, of course, nothing will ever happen. But then also are going to be feeding into something that, yes, Rudius has done some stuff with regards to that. So it's understandable that they would think that he would like this, but it's more just the way in which the world just doesn't seem to
this so
really
much.
Care about it at all.
All right.
And yet it's such a big deal if Rudius had them, but not actually that they did it at all.
Right. So
it just doesn't make sense.
A little bit of a tirade. I'm going to try and make sure I don't go too off the rails
keep
here.
It to 30 seconds.
Well, it's a little more complicated than that.
Okay.
The idea of something like this happening on paper, I'm actually totally fine with. If it was something where it happens and then Rudy has to confront the fact that, hey, because this aspect of yourself is something that people are aware of and you haven't given them any indication to the contrary,
Yeah.
It is perfectly plausible that they would do something like this from the character standpoint of, Persona and the other one. Like, that's okay.
Yeah,
That's
their
totally
names
fine.
here.
And I like the idea of it causing conflict because then it doesn't just have to be, hey, it's the wrong idea. No, this actually did
Persona
happen.
and Linnea, yeah.
Linnea, right, not Lilia. Yeah. Now you have to deal with this. That's fun. That
Right.
can go to showcase how Rudy has changed and maybe be a concrete stepping stone for him to rethink some of the ways in which he's acted and behaved and all that, right?
Right.
That could be a way in which you can then deviate from the, comedic shtick, whatever, of Rudius's whole thing, and then shift into something else. And that could have been really awesome, and I would have really loved that. But the fact that there was no focus on the idea of the fact that they actually did something terrible, right? Like, would have absolutely scared shitless those kids, amongst many other things, right? And nothing was done about it in any kind of practical way,
Nope.
both from Rudius and also from the actual faculty of the school, right?
Yep.
Like, that's a big problem for me, because then it's not just the characters doing something, it's the world doing something, it's
Yep.
the show doing something. And then
It's also just inconsistent. It's also just inconsistent.
Yes, no, it's totally
We
inconsistent.
had a moment with this where someone's panties fell from the sky,
right.
landed in Rudius's hands, or he ended up picking them up. The girls of the school ended up trying to kill him, basically.
Right.
But because it was girls,
yeah.
cute girls that did it.
Right.
Now
Where was the the half troll or whatever that was about to kill Rudius when all of this shit was happening, right?
Nope.
Like,
They don't
like,
exist.
and
These moments exist primarily for people that like pervert humor.
right. And the problem that I
That's
have with that
stupid.
is that then it takes all of the other things where it's like, adding those things in there of like, oh, something could happen here, and then say it doesn't, right? That happening is active characterization for Rudy because we know the kind of person he is, and so all those times where there's the opportunity but nothing happens, that is showcasing something for him. It's not just a passive thing or whatever, right? So to have this stuff happen, and then it's just sort of like, yeah, the world's totally fine with it. Now I have to feel like I have to rethink things. The fact that Aisha is bathing Rudy, and we just show that as a random, bit there. Why is she doing that? Why is Rudy okay with that? Why are we having the little girl, bathe the grown dude, right? Like, that's, Like, okay, you want to say that that's something that is a thing in this world, whatever, but like all of those little things that are sort of just throughout the show, then it's like, all right, what do I do with that? Like, come on. Yeah. So,
So yeah, there you go. Good
Yep.
tirade. But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. And also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. So yeah, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb,
I'm Jacob.
and we'll see you all next time.